welcome to Lovin Sheila, the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time out of your day to come and hear what I have to say. Um, it's totally out of my, I'll call it my wheelhouse because I've prided myself over the years as being the lone wolf. But there's so many things that have happened as I have begun this, transition into my, middle age realm. Recently, my brother and I started the She Will podcast, and we take a lighthearted look at things that are going on in our culture right now. I started writing a memoir, and trust me, it is a very slow process because I think I have like 2 pages and it's been about a month. But all these things are part of my evolution because actually, way back in before Y2K, I took on this mantra, and the mantra was Lovin Sheila, and I started doing all my emails and so forth with Lovin Sheila. And I was like, I'm going to love myself until someone comes. And this is what I was thinking. I think this is the work part about it. I'm going to love myself until someone else comes along. I get married or something and they can love me and they can take over that. And then I'll change it to whoever's, Lovin Sheila, whatever. But, as time has gone on and here we are now in 2023, as I look back over my life since that time, a lot of wonderful things have happened. A lot of wonderful things have occurred. Things beyond my wildest imagination. I did get married. I gave birth. I have a son, and he's off in college. And I've been married about 22 years. And, a lot of things have happened. And in the process, I found that Sheila was kind of on the back burner. And I look back and I recall having a lunch with the colleagues, and I told them, and this is about 10, 12 years ago maybe, and I told them, my life's pretty much over. I'm here for my son and making sure that he is successful and all that, And I don't recall their responses, but as I look back on that thing, what I said, I just feel like, oh, that was lame AF, okay? Because my life wasn't over and I wasn't managing it well. And so now I'm really trying to grab a hold of life and figure out at this age, what makes me happy and what is Lovin Sheila. And I even felt convicted, condemned, or whatever you might call it, because in addition to my emails and so forth, along the way, I just have my Lone Wolf bodywear, and we have different shirts, and one of them, and probably our most popular one, was Lovin' Me. So here I am, I'm thinking, oh wow, Lovin Sheila. I made the shirt, and yet I don't think I have successfully loved Sheila. And so that's where we are right now. We're at this place right now. How do you do that? Okay, because my family loves me. They love me. They adore me, I believe. And I like me. I love me. But I wanted to get into the actual action, the verb of Lovin Sheila. So over the last couple years, I've taken on something I don't do. I don't read very much at all. I don't enjoy it. I have basically just read the Bible for the past, 25 years. That's the extent of my reading. However, in the last couple years, I took on reading a book with my son, Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison, and I thought it was very provocative. I thought it was provocative because in everything that he was doing, and I could probably see myself in this. I never really put myself in this, but in everything that he was doing, he just wanted to be seen and heard. And he did all the right things and all the things that were expected of him, but he was never seen for who he was. And as I recount that to you, I think of myself. I think I've done what's expected of me. I've been a faithful wife. I've been a loving mother. I've tried to help take care of my family, be supportive of my loved ones and extended family, and that's all just wonderful. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. But while doing that, I just need to be mindful of Sheila. And so that's where I find myself today, as we're in Women's History Month and celebrating women. I've come to a place where, yeah, I want to celebrate myself. And by no means am I trying to be the people who we discussed on our She Will podcast, the Cheryl Lee Ralphs, or no way am I trying to be Oprah Winfrey or anyone like that, because I don't think I have it figured out. It's just, I'm just going through this process and trying to make my life work. And after all these years, after 53 years, I am still at the point where I'm trying to make my life work. But the only difference now is I'm committed to it. So I don't have the solution. I'm not going to tell you when you're alone with yourself, do you like who you are? I'm not going to tell you any of that. And, any of that, all those things that we've talked about in the past, that's not my ministry. My ministry is to say I'm here to evolve, because a wise person once said, if you don't evolve, you evaporate. And I'm certainly not here to evaporate. So I've been taking on, like I said, my reading with, starting with Ralph Ellison, and we went into Vanishing Half, White Fragility, what else? All About Love with Bell Hooks, and now I'm revisiting Purpose Driven Life. And there's something to all of these. It's all, different elements of life, meaning dealing with racism in society, dealing with how people try to fit in, dealing with what we need out of life. Because through some therapy and all, I realized how important emotional support is, and that's how I got introduced to bell hooks. And so I read the book, and maybe I read it too fast, because that's one of the reasons I don't like reading, because my retention is not what it should be. But anyway, I read the book, and I hope along the way that I'll be able to share some tidbits with you on that, and maybe even introduce you to some new things that I find helpful. But right now I'm in the purpose-driven life, really slowly going through it. It should take 40 days, and yeah, I think I'm over my 40 days, and I've probably done 11 facets of it. But that's another part of Lovin Sheila, and it's my pace. It's my pace. It's however I choose what pace I want to go, how fast, how slow, how much I want to internalize it, how much I want to meditate on it. It's my pace. It's my life. So you do it your way. Of course, you have the assistance of your loved ones and the people that you care about, but it's really on you. Like my brother tells me when we do our podcast, it's our expletive. We can do whatever we want to do. And so, likewise, it's our life. And we can do it however we want to do it. And so I'm taking more than 40 days to do my purpose-driven life. And hopefully in here I will find more of my purpose. Obviously it's to love my family. All of them are very important to me. And even so, I did want to take some time in Women's History Month to, just pay homage to the most important woman in my life, my mother. A single mom, never married. Well, her dad, my dad and mom were never married. But she raised two girls, and she worked hard, and I'm going to get emotional talking about this, but, she protected us, and, the absolute best way she knew how. She provided for us. She was firm. She was tough. She's definitely a different woman now, because all we see now is just the love, the ability to love us through anything, to support us through anything, to give through it all, no matter how old we are. At my age, I'm still her baby, and I get it. And so I just want to, give a huge shout out to her, because without her, I would not have made it thus far. And, but by the grace of God, by him giving me such a wonderful mother, I was able to hopefully be a good mom to my son. And so, she taught me a lot. And so it's Women's History Month, and I got to give it up for her because she's everything to me. Um, so like I mentioned before, not only do I have the Lovin Sheila thing, I made the shirts. You can get one, Lovin Me. Hope we don't get too much. Lovin Me tanks, um, t-shirts, you name it, we got it. Just go to longwithbodywear.com and get that. And today will be relatively brief because I'm just introducing you to where we're going to go on this podcast. So if I haven't said it enough, obviously we're going to review some, more so than reviewing necessarily pop culture-ish kind of things. We're going to deal with some, things that may not be so popular, but maybe we can help to introduce them because they are, little known secrets. So, hidden secrets that we want to reveal because they deserve to be something all of us are enjoying, okay? So, but there is a little bit of something that's going on right now that I wanted to discuss, and that would be, I'm a big sports fan. Mostly you'll find like boxing and basketball, football, a little bit of track, those things I enjoy, and that's what I spend probably too much of my time watching on TV and going and spectating. But there's some other things that I noticed in the process of my enjoying these sports. And about a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago actually, the beginning of 2021 basketball season, there was a team that was coming up, and I recall telling my son, hey, watch these cats, they're pretty good. And I like this Ja Morant kid. And so Ja, he went on to have a good season, and I was really pulling for him. However, and then the season starts, and somehow I'm not quite pulling for them like I was. And I think it was because the change in the demeanor, the change in the attitude. I don't have any problem with anybody being cocky because I feel like as long as you can back it up, talk your mess. I don't have a problem with Floyd Mayweather. He backed it up, so until somebody can shut him up, keep on talking. But for Ja and his team, the Grizzlies, they really haven't proven anything yet, but they're full of talk. And one thing I noticed is his dad was always at the game, and I'd see him with his cups, with his alcohol, I guess it was, and, talking and sitting next to Usher or whomever the celebrity is at the game and just really taking it all in. Now, I'm sure if my son was in the NBA, I'd be there for it too. I'd probably be like Katie's mom. I'd be at all the games sitting front row. That's my baby, because it is. But at the same time, when you see your child going a little off course, I think it's your responsibility as a parent not to just be the cheerleader and taking it all in and enjoying all the privilege and the access that you're getting. I think it's time for you to say, hey, son, let's slow down, And I think his example is an example to his son, because I don't see him chilling and relaxing, and I see him all over and having his drinks and gallivanting and enjoying the celebrities. So if the father can't behave responsibly or like he has some level of class, is it fair to assume that the son would behave the same way given the amount of privilege he has? Yeah, I think so. And so largely for the problems that Ja Morant is having as far as the guns and his behavior and fighting and the people he hangs out with, I place a lot of responsibility on his father, because instead of being there to enjoy the party with his son, I think he should teach him how to have longevity in his career so that this can be an ongoing party, a long-lived life of success, of being able to enjoy yourself and do the things you want to do, but having understanding that there are boundaries and there are things that some things that we don't do, and some things that we are privileged enough that we don't have to do. We don't have to be brandishing guns and hanging out or carrying guns because we can get security. We have all that. So largely what I'm saying is I put a lot of responsibility on parents, and if his dad is there, I see him pretty much traveling with the team, then that means if you're traveling with the team, then you can have some type of influence. But it seems to me that you're traveling with the team merely so you can party. So shame on you, T. Morant, for not being a better example to your son and showing him how to be professional and being a dad and not a homie. I mean, it's great when you can be cool with your child. I think my son and I are cool, and I allow him freedom to talk to me, you know, but at the same time, I'm not I'm not here for, I would never encourage him to hang out with gangsters or um, carry a gun or do anything that would put him in a position that could take away his freedom or the privileges that he enjoys. So I'm big on parenting. I'm big on influence. I'm big on understanding your role. And I think I'm a cool parent. Definitely a lot of folks have given me flack for um, the relationship that I have with my son. However, I will continue it until the day that I die. I'm not going to change, but at the same time, I feel like I have a good one. He's doing good things. He's focused. And then when you have that, you're good. But when they start brandishing guns and fighting in the streets and, doing things that could land them in jail, that's when you really have to sit back and remove yourself from your cool parent role, and just be the parent and say the things that are difficult. Because this is a kid who's a rising star. He's absolutely a rising star. I loved him. And now I'm like lukewarm on him. And who am I? But I think this is what the community, the basketball community, the world, whereas he can be a top draw, he just got his sneakers. Don't ruin it, do not ruin it. And I come from a place of love, not hate, want to see you succeed. I'm all for it. But got to reel it back in and take a minute and, approach this as a professional basketball player and let your professional life be your professional life and let your private life stay private. And that means how you do that is by not getting in trouble. You can have fun. Everybody has a little fun in their youth, but it doesn't have to be on the news. So let's do that. And it doesn't even have to be on social media. So that's just my take on the John Morant situation. I definitely think that could be handled a little bit better. There aren't too many other really topical issues right now today. That's been the big thing. And I don't want to get too much into sports because I could talk about that all day. But really just wanted to introduce myself to you, kind of let you know where we are, where we're going to go. I've been on this transition, this crossroads in my life, and I just wanted to, share with you because, interestingly, I think that Best Man Final Chapter series kind of like made me look at myself because I found them that they were like my age and all dealing with things that we've all dealt with. And it just made me sit back and just assess, because a lot of times we're going through life and going through the motions, which I do, and you don't really get to sit back and look at your life or even think about your life or even feel what your life is giving you. So hopefully I'm on a journey to feel and to understand. And again, I'm not your girl, Cheryl Lee, Ralph. That's her lane. If that's what she wants to do, if she wants to preach to you, preach all day. I'm just here to share, and hopefully you'll give me some comments and we can talk about some different topics that we as women are going through. This whole thing with aging. I mean, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, your body's not what it used to be. You work out just as much, but it still doesn't seem like it responds the same. You know, your face isn't what you used to see, and it takes a million selfies to get it right. Your hair seems like it's thinner than it used to be. I'm like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. And I'm trying to be transparent with you. I mean, it's just like the battle, the struggle is real. But I'm here to embrace it, to take it by the, what do we call it, the horns, and move forward and find happiness and joy in that struggle. And, the little things, like the little things that are like huge things, like the wrinkles or the gray hairs, which for me is devastating. I'll be honest with you. Can't stand them. If there was an antidote, if there was, I always talk about being 100% real, but if they could give me the antidote through a private, through a plastic surgeon or whatever, whomever, to get rid of these gray hairs, I would be like the first in line. I would no longer, But anyway, that's just, those are the things that are on my mind. Those are things that down the line we'll talk about, we'll share, and we'll get some guests in here. We'll talk about these in more details, and hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you'll continue to watch. We don't have a schedule. We're just going to talk as needed, and I look forward to sharing my living space with you. And it kind of looks like to me, it kind of looks like a therapist's office, and maybe it will be therapy for me. Okay, I'm not going to be anyone's therapist, but for me, because I'm talking it all out with you. So if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Twitter at SheilaBB. And if you want to get some of my merch, one of my Lovin Me shirts, because ladies, we need to do that. I'll put in a special code. So if you use the Lovin Sheila podcast code, for you, you'll get a special deal. Okay, I'll make them $10 because we're on this journey together, and I want us all to reach our full potential and love ourselves and enjoy our life and make this life what we want it to be, through God, through our families, through our careers, and through our self help and what do you call it? Diving deep and trying to do the work. All right. So your work is different from my work. My work is different from yours. Let's just have fun and let's just do this together. I thank you for your time. I thank you for watching this episode of Lovin Sheila. It's going to be fun. It's going to get better over time. And I want to give you like a little bit of a lifestyle kind of feel vibe to this. So maybe we'll get out. Maybe I'll show you some of my hiking expeditions or my travels. I plan to do a little more traveling. So, we'll see where it goes. Thank you for watching. Appreciate your time. God bless. And I'll see you next time at Lovin Sheila, the podcast.